Hey, hello there, and what is up, YouTube? Prank Debate here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers, the movie, studio series. Not 86, because they took 86 out the packaging, even though it's based off the movie, so it's not 86 anymore. But we're taking a look at Scrapper. So, yeah. So we're finally getting a new Devastator studio series, which I'm very excited for, because even though the original Devastator from Commander Wars, even though he did have his the original Constructicons themselves kind of had their issues and stuff, and some people kind of didn't like the original, like that Devastator, and it has some issues itself. And I mean, you could spend money and buy the upgrade kit. I still enjoyed the Commander Wars Devastator, and it's still one of my favorite figures in my collection. So I am excited to see what Studio Series does with the new Devastator that we have coming out. And so far, Scrapper, he is a pretty fun figure. I'm just kind of a little bit iffy about the $35 price point on this guy. Because he's kind of a little small. But I'm guessing, you know, he probably was at the void. It's kind of like when the thing with most figures nowadays, where they kind of have to be at the certain class in order to get that certain budget, so that way they can turn out the way they are to help them be better for what they need to be doing or whatever it is. You know, that's what I'm assuming, but I don't know. But anyway, guys, so that's enough of that little bit there. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. Alright, guys, so I think I figured out a setup for this. I don't know. We're going to at least try and roll with it, see what it does. But anyway, so, yeah. Grabbing Scrapper right here. We'll take a quick look at him. So, if we will focus. So, yeah, hopefully you can see that. But he's got some pretty nice detailing in there on him. He's got some nice silver paint on his legs. He does got some visible pin syndrome right there. But, yeah, he's got some nice shade of purple. Decepticon logo, some nice silver on the chest, highlights there, and he does got a pretty nice scrappery head sculpt right there. Yeah, that screams Scrapper to me. I kind of do wish it did have light piping. That would have been nice, but you can't win them all, can you? I need Hasbro to bring light piping back, but yeah. Then the arms, he actually can, you know. He can bend his arms this time around, unlike his previous counterpart, which we'll show that off whenever we get into the comparisons segment. But yeah, so he can actually bend his arms, and he can give you nice, warm, fuzzy hugs. This was a joke that somebody put on my Instagram story when I posted him next to the Commander Wars version. So yeah, shout out to you. But yeah. So yeah, we'll get into the articulation real quick. So starting with the head, he can't really look up that much. About yay much. Not a whole lot. He can look down about yay down. But anyway, then for the arms, I kind of trying to move this back a little bit, move the shovel in the back, so that way it kind of frees up the arm, where his arms can do a full 360. And it kind of does tend to get caught here and there. And then, you know, his arms, they do bend, and the bicep is on a mushroom peg. So yeah, you got that. And hands don't rotate, but, you know, they do hinge because transformation purposes. Then he can kick forward yay far, and he can kick backward that far, and he can kick out, which is pretty neat. But he can't but he doesn't have any waist swivel, which is sad. But I believe he doesn't have the waist swivel mainly because he does have the joint here for Devastator. So which is the well, I guess it would be the ankle tilt basically for Devastator. So I mean, which it only goes the one way, it doesn't go the other way. So yeah, that's that. And then the feet, they do have tilting, which I think is mostly because of transformation. But if you want to, he can be a cheerleader. He can believe. He can do whatever he wants. I'm sorry for singing and ruining your eardrums, but yeah. So, yeah, he can do the splits. Alright, now, so for transformation, we'll go ahead and get started. So, first we'll start with opening up his chest. So, he has that little gimmick. And you just push the head down and close it back up. And then the hands, you'll just fold them up. Then you just bring this out. And that will just fold on back out like that. Then the arms, they will fold upwards. And if I can get it to focus here for a second. Little tab right here that you can see, that little tab right there, will peg into the hole there. So that will peg in there, but also be sure that the purple tabs here also peg into these slots right there. So you're going to do that. And I did forget to go over accessories. Oh, but we also do have this other stuff here. So, yeah, I'm skipping a bunch of steps, guys. Yeah. Then also this one part, I'm not really sure what is the correct way to do it. But you do have the front section up here, the cab. So you just turn that over for transformation, because this is supposed to be here for vehicle mode, because the prongs that are here will focus. Now, let me get this thing to lock. Okay, here we go. We got it locked. And so for the legs, we're going to go ahead and get them, just untap them, and then the legs, you have this piece here is going to plug into a hole right there. And so you're going to plug that in there. And then vice versa. And do that. And then the legs are going to collapse. And that's kind of basically like how Air Raid's legs do. And then you see these little slots right there are going to tap into these little teeth that are here. So they're going to go in there. And then, as I mentioned before, these right here are going to slide into that little hole right there. You can see it. So it's going to go in right there. And then this is going to tap into there. And then hopefully we can get this in frame to see. And yeah, like that. Shoot. If I can get it. So, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, there he is in his little, I looked it up earlier just to make sure I remember what this thing was called, but it's like a small front loader type thing. I thought it had a different name, but it was like a front loader is what it's called. But, yeah, so, and you see here, it has like little step ladder right here, so for little people it's supposed to get in here, but you got like a big old gap right there. So it's kind of like probably violates some stuff, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, this is the world of Transformers. So it's like, you can just scoop on, mind his business. Just dump his load. Turn around and take it wherever he wants to go. So yeah, I mean, he's actually a pretty fun vehicle mode. He's actually been fun to mess with. But yeah, he's got some paint on the rims here, so that's neat. And wheels do roll. They are on pins. And he's got some nice purple paint there on the windshield. And I'll just go over accessories whenever we go, before we go into comparisons. But yeah, then here's the back, making sure everything's focused again. But yeah, and then down the bottom, you can see the chest, and that isn't all the way tabbed in. So, yeah. But, yeah. That's pretty much all there is for the vehicle mode. So, yeah. Also, for a quick comparison, here, the new Studio Series is next to the original Combiner Wars one. So, here you have Combiner Wars, and here you have Studio Series. So, yeah, obviously, one's bigger than the other. And, one's a different color. But they're kind of pretty similar in a sense. They are pretty similar, and I mean they do look good. And really, after remessing with this one for the video and taking some photos, the transformation between the two is pretty similar. It's like this one is kind of like more, has like a couple extra steps compared to this one, but it's kind of about almost the same transformation. So that's kind of pretty neat. But it's just, you know, he's able to bend his elbows. He can't. So yeah. Okay, and now before we get into the comparisons, let me go over the accessories real quick. I forgot to earlier, but so he does come with a pretty much a G1 styled gun. So that does look pretty good. It looks neat. Does look like the gun he used in the cartoon. And he can hold it. And it looks pretty good. It does look very good. And also, I mean, I think you guys also saw it earlier, but it is blast effect compatible. So he can do a lot of blasting if you so choose and have some blast effects you want to give him. So there's that. And also, he does come with the two little guns here, which form Devastator's gun. So that's that. And also, just for a fun size comparison, here's the new Devastator's gun next to the old Devastator's gun, which is kind of funny that this thing is bigger to this. So yeah. So I'm kind of wondering about, well, I mean, I could probably look it up and just measure, but I kind of am just curious to see how big the new Devastator is going to be next to the original Devastator, because me and one of my friends were talking about it. So I might end up, depending on how the new one ends up being and scaling, I might just keep Combine Wars Devastator, combine as Devastator, and just have the Studio Series Constructicons. Just keep them transformed as just the Constructicons in the display. That's what I might end up doing. But, you know, if you wanted to, you can have him holding the big old gun. Which is probably be a lot funnier now to use for skits, because I can actually have bots hold this gun now as compared to Devastator's other gun. But yeah, he can also dual wield it. So if you want him to do that, that's totally up to you. That's what you want to do. Your figure. Do it as you wish. But yeah, now for some comparisons, here he is next to the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee movie concept Megatron. I'm just using this as the Megatron for the comparisons because my Siege Megatron, he's yellowed all the peck, and it's just, he's just gonna get made fun of if I show him in these videos. So, yeah, nah. But, I mean, hey, comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, so I should do that. But anyway, we're just going to have him saying this Megatron to give y'all an idea of his skill. And then here he is next to a couple of his buddies from the Energon Universe comics, or from the Skybound comics. Alrighty, guys, sorry about that. My phone apparently ran out of storage, so I had to go through and delete a lot of stuff. And I need to go back through my gallery and stuff and clean out my phone anyway and delete some stuff. But anyway, so for last comparison, here he is next to Air Raid and the Combined Wars Scrapper. So overall, he's not a bad figure. I've had fun with him, and I think he's a pretty neat figure and pretty fun. But I don't know, at the Voyager price point, I guess, like I said earlier in the video, it's probably, they probably had him at the Voyager price point. I guess probably for, to do the engineering, I guess it was required to make it. But I mean, that's probably just making an excuse. But I don't know. To me, it's just not really feeling worth the $35 that I spent on it. But I am excited for the Studio Series Devastator coming out, and I am hoping, whenever we finally do have them completed, that it's going to be a really good figure with them all together. But, we still have, let's see, Bone Crusher's coming out next, and then I believe Hook and Long Haul and my tripod's falling over. And I believe Hook and Long Haul are the last ones that are on pre-order right now. And so I think they're coming out at the end of the year, and I think Bone Crusher should be right around the corner because Scrapper's out now. But anyway, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and cut myself off here before I ramble on too much before my phone decides to cut me off again. But anyway, guys, so I do hope you guys have enjoyed these couple reviews. I will probably maybe try to review Armada Red Alert because, why not? But anyway, guys, so I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos. Let me know down below if you guys have any tips or tricks or ways or something, or just stuff in general, maybe to help improve these type of videos and stuff. I know I need to like maybe get a better lighting setup or figure out a better way to improve the lighting in these videos. I know that for sure. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.